the idea for the game is it's kind of like Asteroids, which is super classic game, where you're like this little triangle and you can rotate the triangle and then you can go off in the direction that the triangle is pointing. And you can also shoot in the direction that the triangle is pointing. So it has fairly simple controls, fairly simple other stuff. But I want to add in a neat little extra twist that may have already been done before somewhere else. But I want some of the asteroids to drop resources, like energy, basically. And you have to use that energy as your propulsion and your weapon. So you have like a limited supply kind of thing, which I just thought would add some interesting gameplay. So that's what I'm going to make. And Calvin is going to show us, well, he'll not really show us. He's going to make me learn how, how to move things using physics.
Are you ready?
I get 10%. Ben, no way. Like 45%.
Okay, so we put you in 2D mode. I've made a new project for you.
Okay.
I
So
labeled it Super Asteroids. You don't have to call it
Super
that.
Asteroids.
Yeah.
So how did you make this a 2D project?
I started a new project, and in the settings to make a new project.
New kind of project, you picked 2D.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
But that doesn't matter for people who are making it. I'm ready though. Go ahead.
The camera. Click on the camera.
All right.
Different from the other camera in that its projection mode is orthographic.
It's just looking at in this kind of a field.
Yep.
Is that what that means?
Orthographic.
Orthographic. Okay.
We're not going to be moving on X and Z. We're going to be moving on X and Y. This is a top-down kind of thing.
Okay. Sure.
I think that's how it works. Yeah. So.
Space pizza. Sorry. Stop talking to me, guys. Talk to yourselves. I'm not looking at you.
So.
All right. Flare layer.
You don't need to know any of that
Okay.
stuff. Okay.
All
So, next thing we want to do is we need something to move around. So let's get a. I've got an idea for how to do temporary, like the object, and then what we'll do is later on you can make your own graphics.
Right.
And you can put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, we're gonna create a sphere.
Sphere.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm good at moving things around in here.
Okay.
This is just to make a demo. Yep. I'm going to give you a direction on this thing, so you know.
Oh, so we know what's front.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're using all these fancy keys and stuff?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to put this inside of this one. And call it
so you drag it and I have to sneeze.
Front.
Whoa!
Yeah. And then I'm going to do some stuff here. I'm going to get rid of. Oh, actually, the sphere color might be good on there. Yeah, we'll leave that on.
Wait,
but you're gonna be.
What is happening? What are we leaving on where?
That sphere color. I'm looking at.
Oh,
okay, so now we're set. It's as if you just dragged an object in there. I just wanted to do that real quick so that everything would be set up really fast.
All right. Okay, I get it. Right. That's not gonna help anybody who's trying to do it on their own, but okay.
Heck with them.
I'm pretty sure you can just make a second game object.
You can see what I did.
Drag and drop that into the sphere.
Yeah. So.
And shrink it with whatever you shrink it with.
So we're gonna need a rigid body to move this around because all physics and Unity stuff uses rigid bodies.
Right.
So
yes.
Add a rigid body component.
It's in physics, not 2D though.
No, not 2D.
Okay.
We're gonna do a real physics.
Well, just because it's in a 2D plane, which is why I was asking.
So I know the Unity 3D stuff really well, and I don't know the Unity 2D stuff very well. So I'm going to stay away from it because I want to be able to help instead of like going for a while.
Okay. So we're staying because the 2D stuff is all new.
Yeah, I haven't done anything in it.
I now have a rigid body.
Mm-hmm. So
now what?
We're in space.
Right.
So you're not going to want gravity because otherwise this is going to constantly fall that way.
That would be horrible.
Right.
So don't use gravity.
Right.
Is it kinematic?
It's not kinematic because we're going to use the physics system.
Oh, right.
We want to actually move it around with physics.
Okay.
But we do want to change something in constraints. We want to freeze its Z position, yes, so that no matter what, you don't move out of that.
Right.
It's not going to drop. is a matter of coming in and out this way, and then no longer colliding with things. So everything else that you add, you're going to want to
make sure it's constraint as well.
lock that physics spot.
Interesting.
So if you want to move this around, you're going to have to act on that rigid body.
Right.
So go ahead and...
Should I make a new script?
No, make it go. Well, you're going to need to do that. You can do that first. Make a new script for it to move it around. Call it like ship control or whatever. Star. No, I'm not going to be bit by you. Sorry. Really? You're that determined?
Star. Hey, Star. Come here, kitten. Come here. Magically levitated to my lap.
Just trying to bite.
What are you doing, kitten? No violence in this house.
So, you pick a new script, put it on there, and then do a Google search for Unity rigid body, so you can figure out how to use it.
Unity rigid body. Right. Calvin's no longer going to help me with things at all. He's
That's not
basically
true.
like, good luck. And he throws me to the wolves.
That's not what's happening.
Unity. Oh, thank you for helping me type, Star. Scripting API.
So, give it like an overview of like what's on there, because you're gonna need a lot of that stuff. That's gonna be useful for you.
Oh,
So
hi, Tim. Yes, Calvin?
it's important to note that the physics system kind of like, it uses two things mostly. One is the rigid body, the other is colliders. You've already messed with colliders a little bit.
I know a little bit about colliders. I kind of get how they work.
Colliders are about like the shape of the object and stuff. Rigid body is dealing with the mass of the object.
The rigid body deals with the mass of the object
Kind of.
versus the shape.
Right.
I don't understand.
Don't you know physics?
So you're saying like the rigid body is what deals with like bouncing
No.
and things that have to do more with like
Yes.
gravity
I mean,
and
So they both have to do with that. But yeah, it has to do with like gravity. It has to do with like its structure. What kind of don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much. Don't think about it. Just keep going.
Okay.
Physics system stuff.
okay. Is there anything in particular that I'm supposed to be learning about?
Yeah. We're gonna learn about how to move it around. Just take a look at stuff, read things, go, oh, that's interesting, a couple times.
All right, let's see here. Adding a rigid body component to an object will put its motion under the control of Unity's physics engine.
See?
Even without adding any code, a rigid body object will be pulled downward by gravity and will react to collisions with incoming objects if the right collider component is also present. Yellow Raccoon, I'm glad you like that. Calvin, did you see my tweet, by the way?
Oh my
One
god.
from me? I was very creative.
You usually are.
I know. I try not to do the same thing twice, and it leads to interesting things. Don't get that tattooed anywhere on your body, though. Please. Don't tattoo any words on your body. Unless you're sure you absolutely want them when you're all saggy and 80.
You focus on your
Yes.
toes.
I'm going right back right now. Ow, Star, you're prickly. Oh yeah, and I made a Lego. Okay, I'm done.
So basically,
Okay.
you can't time it
The
out.
rigid body also has a scripting API. What's an API?
Does it not have a link for API? I'm gonna look.
No,
I
it's
don't
not
actually, I
blue.
really know what API is. I use it. I have no idea what it stands for.
Scripting API is what all of this is. It sounds like, so I'm not sure.
Application Programming Interface. There you go. That's what it means.
Okay. Okay.
That dot, that's basically what it is. Rigid body dot. It's like
Okay.
that. There you
All
go.
right.
That's not
Cool
what it is,
beans.
but it's good enough.
Forces the object to control physically realistic way. For example, a car's behavior can be specified in terms of the forces applied by the wheels. Given this information, the physics engine can handle most other aspects of the car's motion, so it will accelerate realistically and respond correctly to collisions. Okay. In the script, the fixed update function is recommended as the place to apply forces and change rigid body settings.
That's important.
As opposed to update. What's fixed update? I
So-
don't know anything about this. Should I just read that next?
No. Well,
or are you going to tell me?
You could read that next, but I'm going to tell you just because it's easier.
Okay.
But click on your script. Did you put a script in there? Open the script up.
The helm.
It's funny. You're funny.
I am funny. Thank you. Sorry.
So you've got update there. You're not going to use that at all.
Should I just change it right now?
Yeah, make it fixed update.
With a capital F?
Yeah. So it's important to understand. Now, update is called at once per frame. This is not update anymore. It's fixed update.
So that means it calls it once per whatever I decide?
No.
Oh.
The physics system runs, and then fixed update runs. So it's after the physics system pushes everything and moves it properly and gets it to where it's going to go. Does all of its calculations about what's happened with physics.
Okay.
And then fixed update runs. You'll say that.
Oh.
Fixed update.
Okay.
So go back to your documentation on the rigid bodies.
Right. I know. I'm trying to find it. There's too many tabs. Okay. Here we go. The fixed update function is recommended. All right. Which is used for most other frame up, as opposed to update, which is used for frame update tasks. The reason for this is the physics updates are carried out in measured time steps that don't coincide with the frame update. It's called immediately before each. It says before.
Okay. Yeah.
Called
and
bef-
after then.
For each physics update. Yeah, I guess it's technically the exact same thing. It's
It's
between.
not, but it is. It is.
Yeah.
So it's after. It's before.
Okay,
Not after.
cool.
Sorry.
Okay. Carried out in measured steps. Okay. So any changes made there will be processed directly. Common problems.
You can
turning
skip
out-
that part.
This part?
Yeah. You're not using gravity, so don't worry about it.
Okay. And then there's a huge ton of different things I can do. Bool operator does not equal or equal. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to start down there. It's boring stuff.
Destroy. We're gonna need that one. Whatever destroy is, we're gonna use that a
So
lot.
your variable list there at the top.
I don't know that that's even true.
A lot of those you have access to from the inspector. You can see like his kinematic and
Yeah, it's
things
kinematic.
like that.
Controls whether physics affect the rigid body.
Yep.
Right.
So you want physics to affect it, so you want to turn it on.
Detect
Once you use gravity
collisions.
off, yeah.
Constraints. Ooh.
So-
Center of mass.
So the next cool
Drag.
stuff is
Ooh.
your functions. That's what we want to look at. That's gonna be all kinds of stuff.
Oh my gosh, Star. You're pinpricking crap out of my knees, kitten. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Add explosion force.
Yeah.
Whoa, cool. So it could just simulate explosions, like bam, explosions. Oh, you have Comcast 2 painted dog? I'm so sorry. We've been fairly lucky with it here, but it's still horrible.
That's because we're in the middle of a big city.
We're in the middle of a big city, but yeah, no,
Okay.
it's still pretty horrible.
But it's just horrible being part of Comcast, paying them money.
So add force looks like how you create motion.
That's one way to do it. Oh.
Move position. It looks like the other way.
That's one way to do it. So you got a bunch of things here, right? What we want to do is we're going to use like real physics to move your little guy around. And I
Okay.
think it'd be really cool to kind of like to like use it like you're in like a moon lander kind of thing,
Okay.
right? I think it'll be fun. So I just thought of something neat. I'm gonna try that later. But anyway.
Yeah.
The difference here is that there's add force and then there's add relative force.
Relative to its coordinate system?
Right.
What's the difference?
So one is that your sphere's out there and you can add force in any direction on it, right? But we
Okay.
always want it to be going forward towards its nose, right? We always want to add this force this way.
Right.
And no matter what way it's rotated, we don't want to do that.
Right. You want to add
So
the
if you do
relative to its position.
right, it'll kind of do the
So relative force. Interesting. Okay.
So you need that one. You're going to need add relative force, right? So you'll need to learn about that, but you'll need one other thing because you need to be able to rotate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want rotating to take up fuel?
Oh.
You want to be able to rotate whenever you want?
Okay.
I
I think rotating should not take up fuel.
all right.
Because if you're just sitting there rotating and you're shooting, the shooting will take up fuel.
Yeah.
So rotating doesn't need to cost anything.
So do you want rotating to use the physics system, or do you want to just rotate?
Does it matter?
It'll change how you do how it feels. Think about if you're in like out in outer space and you've got two little canisters of air, right? And you want to go turn
I like
one
how
way.
you got behind me for that.
Turn one way, turn the other way. Do you want to do that?
I want to do it however Asteroids does it.
Asteroids doesn't use any physics.
No, but I want it to work the way Asteroids works. Like, I don't want it to just like constantly rotate a little bit unless you flatten out. I want it to be like rotate and stop. I want it to be precise.
Okay.
What makes it precise?
Then you're gonna want to do move rotation. I think I would look into move rotation, and I would look into add relative force.
Okay. What's torque?
Torque is rotation.
That's not the kind of rotation I want, though.
Right.
That's the other kind.
That's physics.
Okay, I'll try to remember to call you Angela Painted Dog. You might have to remind me like a bajillion times because I forget names really fast. I'm horrible at it. All right, rigid body dot move rotation rotates the rigid body. Thanks for the information. For kinematic rigid bodies, it applies friction based on the motion. So lets you simulate moving and rotating platforms with rigid bodies sitting on top of the elevator. If you want other rigid bodies to interact with the kinematic rigid body, you need to move it in the fixed update function. And they give you a little taste of the code too.
It's for kinematic rigid body, so I can't use that.
All right, never mind. Not that one.
All right. I don't think we want to. Oh, you know what we can do? Go into add relative torque. All right, so this adds torque to a rigid body relative to a rigid body's own coordinate system. And it does have force mode. Okay, so we can use this. So see this one? Okay, this is about adding turning stuff to it, right? And it uses 3D vector 3.
A vector?
And it also takes another argument. You don't need to put that argument in there. This is something you haven't seen yet, but it's calling the function, right? And you're just sending it the vector up times 10, right?
Okay.
No big deal. Scroll down a little bit. Oh, they don't have one example with it. Great. I'll go back up. So what they're showing you here is because you should be already a programmer and already understand all this, is that you can also put a comma in there and then put in a force mode. And the different force modes.
Comma.
Right. So what is force mode? You don't know. You'd have to click on force mode and find out.
Making me do all the timing. Oh, okay. Option on how to apply force.
Yep. So
okay.
There's one in there that's going to be really useful to you.
Add an instant force impulse to the rigid body using its mass. It's all mass related. Hello, Sergeant. You spoke. No.
What, huh?
No, I was talking to the chat for a second because you ran away, and I immediately was. No. It ignores its mass and it uses its mass. I just noticed it does both. But the ignoring the mass seems to be only for velocity, whereas
I think that's the one you're going to want to use for the rotation is velocity change, because it's an instant change in its velocity. So you can set the velocity to 0 when you're not moving, and set it to a turning when you want it to turn. And then when you let off the key, you can pop it back to 0.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
And that way your actual rotation will be involved in the physics system as well. So like it can like know that you're turning,
Okay.
which is good.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That way you can bounce off of things, which would be cool. Like properly.
I
Like
don't
you're turning.
think there's gonna be any bouncing. I'm pretty sure in Asteroids you go
Yeah,
when you
but
hit
if you
stuff.
want to add in bouncy balls to your Asteroids game, you totally can.
It's bouncy ball special time, and all these little bouncy balls come down like pachinko. And when you hit your
Sure.
ship, you win.
Right, they bounce around, yeah, that'd be
You
great.
win points.
So-
Oh my gosh, this is so dumb. I don't know
Okay.
why that's what I thought of.
Check back on the other type of movement that you're gonna want to do.
Relative torque?
Nope, that's the turning.
Oh, that's what we were just. Relative force. Adds a force relative to its coordinate system. As a result, the rigid body will start moving. Public class, example class.
No, you don't need to work with this. This is how you call it and use it.
Force mode equals force mode force.
So it uses a force mode as well.
Interesting. So they both use force mode.
And you're sending a vector to.
So that one does vector torque. This one's vector force. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, the asteroids themselves bounce off. I forgot about that. AC Ray.
You'll be able
You're
to do
right.
that too.
Also, hello, Drew.
Okay.
So
you got the two ways to do it, and this is how you call it. Rigid body dot add relative force. This is exactly the way you want to do it. This forward vector.
right, because
That's
I
gonna
always
be
want to just be forward,
Mm-hmm.
wherever it's pointing.
So
All right.
So you know how to do input. Do you remember?
Maybe.
If you don't, you can look it up.
I can indeed.
Uh,
This fixed update spot.
Mhm.
Is everything that I'm actually coding going to be in there, or do I? You said I don't want to use an update at all for anything.
Right.
Right.
Right. For this, you don't.
So, all right. So I'm going to be declaring all of the variables above or below. Above is the clean way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Inside the public class, like up here. So
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
declare all the variables.
Uh-huh.
And then all of the functions I put inside a fixed update.
No, fixed update is a function. You don't need to write probably too many functions. Think about your input. Do you remember your input one at all?
Isn't that a function? Or is it a variable?
Hi.
I get confused really easily with those two
Okay.
because they kind of overlap.
Don't worry about the names of things. Do you know? Okay, so
What are you trying?
I'm trying
You
to
want
get
me to
you
start
to-
writing the input?
I think you should figure out how you're going to do this. I think you have enough information to start up to make it. Press the button and just go forward.
With physics.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the
So
first
you're
thing
up arrow, getting your up arrow.
I
move
need
your thing
to
around.
do
I'm not going to talk
is-
about terminology or anything else anymore. I think you already know how to do it. I think talking about it is going to confuse you.
Okay. Is it input.getKey?
Try it.
That's the one that. Oh, no, I don't want to be tapping the key. I want to be pressing and holding it down. So yes, get key. And then in parentheses, I say key code dot whatever the key is that I want. What is it called? Up arrow, I would assume. There, up arrow. Oh, do I want to use the up arrows? Yeah. Up arrow. That should do it, right?
Sounds like it.
Um,
That is the input, but you need to do something with that. Because what is the input? What is that output? What does that function return?
it just gets that it's happening. I don't want to create an if statement around it, right?
Yeah. What is the input return? Input.getKey. Do you know what it returns? There's a way to check.
Wait, what?
Check this out.
Return, I don't know what you mean,
Because it's a function. GetKey is a function you're calling.
right?
Oh, you gotta do it down. As you're writing it, you can look at it. get key. You're sending it a key code, and it returns.
True or false?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
Sorry, I didn't understand what you were asking.
I'm just letting you know. I'm basically showing you how you can look at a function inside
Okay,
one of
no,
those
that's
things
really good to
and
know.
be able to know what it's returning. Which is
Okay. Right. So I'm getting a Boolean from that.
Mhm.
Which means I can turn this into an if statement.
Sure.
Right? I can just say if in front of it, and it will become
Because
an
if
if
statements
statement.
evaluate Boolean
Right.
statements.
After doing that, input turned into a squiggly line.
Don't worry about that. Just start.
And it
finishing
says
it.
parser error.
Okay. Well, what do you
Unexpected
do?
input.
That's because you haven't finished writing it yet.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You're missing a thing. That's why.
Oh, I need double parentheses, don't I?
You don't have them at the start of input. There you go.
Yeah.
You're set.
Okay. That makes sense. I forgot that the if statement would need.
I
parentheses.
would remember.
All right. So if they're pressing the key, then I want to apply that force thingy. But how do I know which one I want to use?
Okay, you could.
I'm.
What does it sound
Fine.
like? Which one does it sound like you want to use?
I don't know enough about it to know which one makes any sense. They both sound the same to me.
Try just the standard force version.
What do you mean?
Default. Force mode force. Oh wait, okay.
Hello?
What question are you asking?
What?
What question are you asking?
Happening?
Ask the question again. Because I thought you were asking one thing, but maybe you're asking another.
You said that there was this rigid body dot add relative force and add relative torque.
Do you know what torque is?
I don't. You said that I had to choose between them.
No.
Which things am I choosing between then?
You're not choosing between anything. You're going to use one for one thing and one for the other.
Okay, no, that makes sense then. Torque is spinning, right?
Yeah.
I was confused.
Don't be confused.
So, you were talking about force mode. Yeah. The different kinds of force that I can use.
That's what you were asking. I would use force for the. I'd at least start with using force. You can always change it later. You know, I mean, that's not a hard thing to change. So, yeah. There you go.
This is actually what I'm going to be typing out.
Sure.
Pretty much, except for times 10. I don't know what that's for.
That's the amount of times of force that you're going to add to the.
I don't know how much the force starts with.
Right, and you're going to have to experiment with that. Just to forewarn you, you're probably just going to launch your little guy off the screen like crazy.
I'm going to start with 0.5 because I really don't know if 10 sounded really high. And then a comma and then the other stuff.
If you want, you could do force mode dot star. You gotta stop. God, I know you're bored, but you can't wait and just get bored.
That's a force relative to its coordinate system.
Well, Cox, he'll play with you.
Okay. So if I save this right now, and go into Unity without adding in the special text. Oh no, compiler errors! I forgot the brackets or something. I got this.
Star. Yeah. Now we're gonna be up here. What? I'm just gonna carry you around.
That might be all that was.
No, there's a little red dot there. Oh, it went away when you press save. That's funny. You can't do that. You got a comma there. That comma means you're going to enter in another thing.
You're right. Okay.
See everything lit up now? There you
go. Okay. Star. You're a crazy kitty. Is she purring?
Yeah.
She's purring. Yep, she's weird. Okay.
Cloud immediately wants to get out of my arm for a second. He's up here. She's like, yay, I'm flying. I'm trying to be gentle with it, not squish it.
Cannot convert object expression to Unity Engine.vector3.
What'd you put in there?
Star.
Oh, okay.
She let you know she wanted to go down.
Yeah,
That's
I
all that
guess.
was. There is no vector.forward? Is that
There
why?
totally is.
Is there? Usually
Yes.
I have to define what a thing is.
No, vector 3.4.
Hey, Hobbs! Cat!
Oh my
Don't be a dumb butt! It's like zoo time as soon as I start streaming.
Okay.
Whew. Alright.
This is what you cut and pasted out of the other thing?
I copy and pasted this line out. Oh.
They had that in there without the F?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, I fired the floating part.
Go Unity with your stuff. Your documentation is
Well, it does nothing.
does nothing. You sure? Don't tap it, hold it down. That's nothing.
0.5 is maybe too little.
Click on your sphere. The helm. Oh, you times it by 0.5 instead of the 10?
Yeah, you said it was gonna go too fast.
That's gonna be so when you
Oh, I'm
this is-
timesing it by 0.5.
timesing it by 0.5 cuts it in half.
Yeah, yeah, no, I gotcha. Need to at least times it by 2.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's probably gonna be too little too. I would try to.
you said 10 was gonna make it rocket off the screen.
Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, maybe you are wrong. Let's function under the assumption that you are wrong. Let's try this again.
Yeah, that's working real well.
I'm pressing buttons and nothing's happening. Okay, hold on.
Let's look at the code again.
Yeah, let's see what I did wrong. I must have not done something. Oops. Okay, how many things can I not click?
Rigid body. Add relative force. Forward.
Up arrow.
Mm-hmm. All looks okay.
Fixed update.
Put in a new line there. This is when your code doesn't do what you want to do. You put in
A
a
new
debug
line where?
after that.
After this?
Okay, listen. When your code doesn't do what you want it to do, you put in debug.
After the code that happens or before the code?
We want to check and see if up arrow is being pressed. So add into that if statement a debug output, like a debug.log or print. That's what it is. That's what you've been using. It's print, right?
Print what?
Anything. Yes, that key was pressed down. Do you remember how to use print function?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Wow. You auto-completed stuff for you.
It auto-completed into... That's good to know that GO turns it into a game object.
You need to call it like a function. Just type in text in there. Doesn't know what to do with it. And just see if the key is being pressed.
Wait. What do you mean I need to call it like a function?
Print is a function. You call
Yeah. I put the things in the parentheses, then end it with a semicolon, and it should go, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't second guess yourself. When you think you know what you're doing,
I'm just confuzzled.
you're not.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
Pet my head.
Go
Tell
ahead.
me again. Tell me not to be scared.
Okay, so it is getting that key press. The force isn't doing anything.
Angular drag, is that
No.
something?
We're gonna mess with those later.
It's what is the actual math behind what I'm doing? I'm adding relative force. Is it because it's not detecting that it's pointing in any position?
No, that's not. It isn't. Forward is.
Why is this not working?
Hold on, we're gonna find out. Let's try a different direction. We'll go.
Okay.
That worked.
While pointing up.
So,
So dot forward doesn't.
I bet it's up. Yeah.
Why would they do that in the thing?
What thing?
Like, why would they write forward then?
Because it asks for a three-dimensional space and we're locking into one. And since you're constrained on a particular vector, no force happens.
Oh.
This will do exactly what you want. Watch.
So that was actually a really important lesson. But it won't stop. Whoa! What'd you do?
How long you press changes it.
Interesting. Just like in Asteroids.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Except that you probably are going to want to put a cap on the velocity somehow.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. You don't. Why put a cap on the velocity? Because
you end up looking. You have to screen.
you'll have to
screen
turn around
wrap.
and stop yourself if you want to do that. So if you want to waste all your fuel just zipping across.
You want to ramming speed something.
Yeah.
Oh man, could we make this multiplayer? Two people on
yeah.
one keyboard?
Yeah.
We could have. That's kind of easy to add. As a second person doing
totally do
the same
that.
thing. Because that would be kind of cool. And if you bump into each other, you're also dead.
We can actually make them bounce off of things and take damage too if you want.
No, I like the heartlessness of Asteroids. All right, so I want to
Now you need to edit the turning.
do the turning next, right? Yeah. That's the side arrows. Okay, so if I don't put in an else statement, it just does nothing, right?
Right.
Okay. So I could just put in an else if and throw another.
You should be able to turn while you're going forward.
So it should just be another if.
Yeah.
Inside of this one?
Why would you do that? Then it will only happen if you're pressing the arrow.
Right. Okay. That's what I was thinking. But I want it to happen while that's going too. So it'll just run a second check. It'll just say, hey, if this input is also happening, no, not dot acceleration. What the heck just happened? If input dot get key bloop, 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 bloop. Then which key? And parentheses. All right, good. It's happy to be there. And this is me using the other functiony thingy thing. Add relative torque. Interesting. Okay. Bloop. Vector. Right. Oh, I didn't want up arrow. Why did I automatically put up arrow here? I'm so smart. Right arrow. Whoa. Okay. Fair enough. Good job. Good job. Monitor develop. You did good. Cat hair in my mouth. You look adorable. Probably your hair that I just ate. Long cat is long. All right. I don't need this debug bit anymore. That's interesting to know that if you're having trouble with your code and you're not sure if it's running or not, if you just add something in to print to the console, you'll know.
Yeah.
AC Wraith, if I was to surround the arena with bouncy walls instead, that would also, I like the wrapping idea. That's probably, actually, is the wrapping going to be a really hard part of this?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Fair enough. I like the wrapping idea because the human mind has problems with keeping track of things when they do that. And if the asteroids are actually kind of coming and wrapping around, it's much harder to keep track of all of that than it is if it's just bouncing. Bouncing is easy.
So evil.
It's game design, Calvin. I'm not supposed to be good while I'm designing games. I'm supposed to be evil, making a challenging, restrictive, horrible mess that people will love. Or not. What if I turn all of the asteroids into mobile ads? Little ads. And you have to shoot the ads. Ka-ching. People would hate that so much. Oh, you get to destroy the ads, I guess. That's kind of cool. But it'd be dumb because you can't accidentally click them, so I'd never make any money. Anyhow. Vector dot 3, right. I don't know what I should times it by. Should I times it or should it be a plus?
So
How
this
do I?
one you're going to be doing a velocity change, right?
Torque. What do you mean velocity change?
Okay, remember we were talking about like, hey, this one we should probably use this, and this one we're going to use that for the different force modes.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's what you were telling me about the other thing. About
So because you want to act
force.
like asteroids and like stop when you.
Yeah. Force mode dot velocity change?
Yes.
Is that what it would be?
Yes.
Okay.
There it is right there.
Yay.
Okay, so.
But I don't want it to necessarily be times 10. Doesn't times. Oh.
That's scary.
My insides moved funny.
Yeah, why not leave it there? We'll find out if it's any good. You probably want to make it a float though.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna have to happen.
Okay.
But 10?
I don't know. We'll find out
Well,
if that's
yeah,
crazy
okay.
or not, right? So what the thing is that you want to do here? Can we?
Should I test this first to see if it's even
Yeah,
works?
yeah. Let's do that. I'm thinking of new ways to do things here. So.
Whoa. That's not the right that we wanted to use.
Try forward.
Forward?
Yeah.
We used forward before and it didn't do anything.
On the force direction, but this is torque.
Oh.
Try forward. I think it'll
Okay.
work.
This is not making sense to me yet.
That's okay.
I will openly say
All
that.
you need to know is that you're pushing it in a certain way, and you need to try them until you find the right ones.
Okay.
I got an idea for this one too. But
What?
there it is. Yep.
It didn't stop though.
Nope. No, because you didn't put any code for it to stop.
But I thought I did. I thought that's what that force mode was for.
No, that's just a velocity change. It doesn't stop it when it doesn't get in.
Oh, okay.
But I got an idea. See how there's drag and angular drag?
Mm-hmm.
Put angular drag up to like 100. Yeah, now try playing it again. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Doesn't do anything, right? Okay, so that doesn't work.
What if?
Just put it back.
Here,
to
I have an idea. I have an idea. My idea is that I have an on-up activation.
That would be perfect. Do that.
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing is I don't know how to make things stop. What kind of code do I use in order to be like, don't move anymore?
Well, since you're using velocity change, you're actually setting the velocity.
So I have to set the velocity to 0?
Yeah.
Okay. I will figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
Turn your spin speed down a little bit too. Not too much.
Or what if, or actually, couldn't I just put in an else statement?
Yes, but then that will happen every single frame that you're not pressing the key down.
Oh.
And if you want another key.
So I can put an if statement inside of an if statement because it only needs to check this.
Anything that you put inside of that if statement will only happen if your right arrow key is down.
Oh, you're right.
That's what if statements do.
You're right. Sorry. I'm just trying to organize things, and I'm just doing it wrong because I'm not sure what I'm doing.
Right.
Woo! Another if statement happening here. Woo! If. Do I need something different?
No, you do want to do an else.
I do, yeah.
But you also want to do something else first, I think.
What do you mean?
Get it spinning the other way first.
Okay.
Think about it, okay? So do you understand why?
Oops. Where did this just come from?
No, what are you doing?
Oh, no,
You copied and pasted the
I-
whole thing. That's where it came from.
Did I copy the? I don't think I copied the last one. There we go. That's better. Now it has a friend. Okay.
What are you doing? So, this will mean that you could hold down both the right key and the left key at the same time.
And it will go like that. Or, cool, perfect.
No.
Oh.
There's a reason.
Then why did you want me to do this way?
I didn't say it to do it that way. Use an else if, so that you can only use one at a time, and then you can use an else at the end. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. That means that has to be inside this other if statement, though, right? Just squish it inside.
Use it like an else, yeah, and put it inside. This one, maybe?
Mm-hmm. You're right. So if there's two if statements here, and then there's an else if statement, what does it pay attention to?
Do a Control S to save it. And okay, so now it didn't use a Control S, and it did nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because there was a compile error. You've got an extra bracket key thing down there.
Do I?
Yeah. Get rid of that.
This goes to there, this goes to here. Are you sure? I don't think I do. Okay.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell you did, because you just pressed Control S, right?
There's no...
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what your problem is.
Okay. Yep.
Now do Control S. There it goes. Okay, so this should make it pretty clear the order of things and how it's happening.
It attaches to whatever the last if statement is.
Yeah, your end bracket for that if statement is here.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I still want this to go forward? I want it to go backwards now, right? Is that the same as back?
Mm-hmm. That should be it.
Okay. Let's try this. Do, do, do. We're learning the codes. Rigid body, physics, movement. It doesn't stop, but it definitely... Oh, and if I give it just the tiniest bit of forward motion, woo! Ooh, careful.
We're playing.
Hobbs is gonna get ferocious fast though. Look at him. You might want a glove.
He came at my ankles. He didn't dare
Hobbs.
actually bite me or attack me.
Okay. All right. So I need. I'm trying to remember how asteroids work.
So now you need one other thing, which is the
stopping these two if statements.
Mhm.
All right. Oops, you want to space there. Else velocity.
Wow.
Nope. Well, I mean. No. Oh, right. I have to call the rigid body, don't I? All right. There's two rigid bodies here. It says rigid body with lowercase and rigid body with an uppercase.
Right.
One says P and one is a C. What's the difference? What does that mean?
One is a class and the other one is property, I think.
Okay, and so I want the one that is a property and not a class?
Same as the other ones you're using.
Okay. Rigid body dot. I want to add relative torque?
Yeah. With but instead of the other kinds of forces that are impulse and stuff like that, you need to do the same thing that you did here and do just a velocity change, where you're going to set the velocity change to nothing, and it will go to nothing.
How do I set the velocity change to nothing?
No, no, you're right there. Put the semicolon at the end. Ah, no. Here is how you do it.
Times 0?
Nope. Times nothing. Nope. Times nothing.
Just no, leave it blank.
Yeah, no times. No times.
Okay.
And then put that to 0.
Oh, okay. But that changed the dot back is now.
No. Get rid of that 0.
You said 0.
Uh-huh. Keep your mouse out of the way. Delete back. You don't want to go back. You want to go 0.
What?
0.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Vector dot 0. It's nullified.
Not nullified. It's a vector 3 with the values 0, 0, 0 for x, y, and z.
Right. Oh, you checked it out. Thank you, Wraith. Okay. They didn't bounce. They like went through each other or something. That makes sense. No bouncing is required.
I think yours should
Although
bounce.
bouncing against each other would be pretty cool.
Test it.
Oh yeah, right. This is it, folks.
No, sorry, spinning. That didn't
Yeah,
work.
that didn't work.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Oh, whoa, look at it. It's like wobbling.
Yeah.
Why is it wobbling like that?
Because it's the physics system.
Okay.
It's got a funny
It's a little
center.
wobbly. Okay.
Stop it. I know how to do this. You can. It's something else in velocity. So I just.
Is it not add relative torque?
It's not. You don't want to use that. So nope. You want to just get rid of. Okay. I can tell you what it is. You're going to want to change the velocity. You can actually directly affect the velocity of the original.
Velocity.
But that's not going to work. Yeah, how do you do this? Hold on a second. No, you want to directly affect the torque. I'm looking at the rigid body thing, trying to find your stuff. Velocity of the rigid body. So torque. Rotation.
I could just add in two other if statements that say if the right arrow get key goes up, just set it.
That's not working. That's the problem. That's not.
I'm saying not even use a rigid body, anything. Or actually, I guess what we're having trouble figuring out is how to actually make a rigid body stop moving.
Yeah, but not just completely stop moving, just stop rotating. So have a second, I'm looking into this. You can look around inside of there too.
Interesting.
So you can figure out
Do I even need force mode velocity change for this vector 0 thing? I'm going to try deleting that. See if that...
you want angular velocity. There we go, I found it.
Okay. Angular velocity.
Directly, can you check?
It's
most
pink.
Cases, if you not modify directly, it will result in unrealistic behavior, which is exactly what you want. So.
It's all pink, like it's yelling at me.
Yeah, because you can't put that into angular velocity. You got to look up angular velocity in the.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Do you know what angular velocity is?
I don't know what most of this stuff is.
No. I mean, you can look at it, like, find out what it wants. What is it? It's inside of rigid body, so.
Angular velocity in degrees per second. This is rigid body 2D. Hold on. That's not what I want. Okay. Angular velocity vector of the rigid body. In most cases, you should not modify it directly. That's all it says.
But now you know what it is.
What do you mean?
It says what it is. It says angular velocity is a vector. So it says right on the top above the description, vector 3, angular velocity.
Yeah.
Set that to 0, 0, 0.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Set that to.
So that this should just be add relative torque still.
No. Rigid body, angular velocity. That's a vector 3. We want to set it to vector 3, 0.
Right.
That'll do it.
But then why is it pink?
Because you're using it like a function. It's not a function, it's a variable.
Oh. Okay. We're learning, guys. I think we're learning. There's the potential. Oh, it does it now. Yep, bam. So, they are going backwards, though. I just realized when I press this way, they go. Let me fix that real quick. I press the right key and it turns left. This is back. And this happens to be forward. Okay. Exactly right. You can't set it directly because it's just not realistic. So, ha! Realism can suck it. Okay. Let's see if that fixed the problem. Oops. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It's still weird that that's all warbly.
Don't worry about that.
Is that going to mess anything up?
Just look at it here. Does it look okay here?
It's sort of off center.
That's fine. See if it's because of that other sphere.
Yeah,
don't worry about it. So now when you press forward just a little bit, it constantly goes forward, right?
Yep.
But we would like it to work like asteroids.
Well, it kind of already does.
In asteroids, you want to be able to
fully stop.
You want to be able to.
So we want there to be a tiny bit of drag.
There you go.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're so smart.
Drag. I don't know how much drag I need.
I don't know either.
Let's try one. Let's try one. One drag.
See what feels right.
Ugh, this is such a drag.
Is that enough? You can. So the cool thing is that while you're there editing it and playing it, you can change those values until you find one that's right.
I lost it. I have to start over again. So it went off the screen and I totally lost it.
So not enough drag then.
Yeah, no. Not enough drag. Try angular. What's the difference between drag and angular drag?
Think about it.
No. I'm gonna have to look it up. That's what I'm thinking about it.
That'll work.
Yeah. Angular drag versus normal drag. Oh, the first result is something about literature and music. Maybe I should just look up one thing at a time.
Just go to the
Unity angular drag.
And then look at the different variables. That's a quick way.
Oh, okay. Angular drag versus just drag. The drag of an object, the angular drag of an object. This can be used to slow down an object. The higher the drag, the more the object slows down. Used to slow down the rotation of an object. So don't I just want normal drag? And not angular drag, which is what you were telling me to edit?
No, I wasn't telling you to edit anything, actually.
Oh, that's the one that you had me edit before. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Never mind. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to turn the drag to 1. We'll start there. Okay. Make my demo field a little bigger. Can I move my camera? Center this a little more. I'm moving the camera over the dot and it's there. I don't know how to move the camera back in 3D space. Is there no such thing?
There is. What are you trying to do?
I wanted to zoom out, basically.
Oh, that's no problem. There's a couple different things. You can change the size of the projection.
Oh, so if I change that to 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome. That was what I needed. Do 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 do. Oh, I just accidentally saw Twitter. Thank you everybody for all of the tweets that you've been doing. Like every time I stream, so many people respond. It's really wonderful. I really appreciate it. Because it's really motivating for me to keep doing this, even if I'm not feeling good or really don't feel like it, and I'd, rather play with Legos. So having people actually actively being excited about it and spreading the word really motivates me, and I really appreciate it. It's super cool of you guys. Let's try it with the drags now. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't know. Here, go back to the sphere. Drag. Let's try 1.5. See how that feels, because I really don't know what I'm going for right now. Whoosh. This is kind of cool. No, I think that's too high. Let's try point.
You can change it like while it's running.
Oh, really?
See that?
That's awesome. I didn't know that. 0.7. Oops. Oh, right. Oh, I can't see myself. Let's see if I can find my way back. Nope. Not going to happen. Okay. I got lost again. Oh, but if you change it while it's running, it doesn't save your changes. That's dangerous. All right. Unity pro tip. If you make changes while you have this play button pressed and active, nothing you do will get saved. No matter what, right? Like you can change scripts, but you can't change anything that you've done inside of the actual Unity engine.
So there's always exceptions.
There are exceptions, but generally be terrified. Okay, the end of the pro tip. Splash. Okay.
Pro tip should be terrified.
Be